Cannibal is easily the most mysterious dragon in all of Fire and Blood. No rider, no known origin. No one knows where he came from. And unlike every other dragon on Dragonstone, Cannibal behaved completely differently. So here's one of the oldest and most fascinating fan theories. What if Cannibal didn't hatch on Dragonstone at all? What if he came from old Valyria? Let's start with what we actually know. Cannibal was a wild dragon living on Dragonstone during the Dance of the Dragons. He was enormous, completely untamed, and feared by everyone. According to Fire and Blood, he earned the name Cannibal because he fed on dragon eggs. Young hatchlings, and even the bodies of dead dragons. No other known Targaryen dragon behaved like this, and here's where things get strange. The book never tells us who his parents were. It never tells us when he hatched, or how he arrived on Dragonstone. In fact, some of the smallfolk claimed Cannibal had been living on Dragonstone before the Targaryens ever arrived. Think about what that means. House Targaryen fled Valyria about 12 years before the Doom and settled on Dragonstone. If the smallfolk were right, Cannibal wasn't a Targaryen dragon at all. He was already there. That opens up a fascinating possibility. What if Cannibal escaped the Doom of Valyria on his own? Or what if dragons had been living on Dragonstone long before the Targaryens claimed it? After all, Dragonstone is a volcanic island, exactly the kind of place dragons are naturally drawn to. Maybe the Targaryens didn't bring the first dragons there. Maybe they simply found one that was already waiting. Supporters of this theory also point to Cannibal's behavior. Unlike dragons raised by the Targaryens, he never accepted a rider. Not once. Many people tried. None succeeded. He lived entirely by his own rules. He hunted other dragons. He avoided humans whenever possible. It almost feels like he wasn't part of the same bloodline as dragons raised in captivity. Some fans even believe Cannibal was older than Balerion the Black Dread. Now there's no evidence for that. But the fact that no one knows Cannibal's age has allowed theories like this to spread for years. Then there's another mystery. After the Dance of the Dragons, Cannibal simply disappears. Unlike many dragons whose deaths are recorded, no one knows what happened to him. Did he die? Did he fly away? Did he return to some forgotten corner of the world? George Martin never tells us. But here's why many fans reject this entire theory. The only source claiming Cannibal lived on Dragonstone before the Targaryens is local folklore, and Fire and Blood constantly reminds us that legends aren't always reliable. It's also entirely possible that Cannibal hatched on Dragonstone after the Targaryens arrived, but simply avoided people his entire life. That would explain why nobody knew his origins. So, did Cannibal escape the Doom of Valyria? Or was he simply another wild dragon born on Dragonstone? George Martin leaves us with just enough clues, and just enough mystery, to keep fans arguing years later. So here's today's challenge, comment only one word. Valyria if you think Cannibal existed before the Targaryens reached Dragonstone, or Dragonstone if you believe he was born there after they settled the island. And here's the bigger question. If Cannibal really came from old Valyria, what else might have survived the Doom that's still out there waiting to be discovered?